Please be seated. Good morning. Morning. Welcome. Welcome to this recognition ceremony for 139 members of the 2018 EMBA New York Friday Saturday class, 120 members of the 2018 EMBA New York Saturday class, and 37 members of the EMBA Americas class. Give yourselves a round of applause. You are three extraordinary classes and an extraordinarily diverse group. You represent many industries and backgrounds, from finance and technology, healthcare to consulting, media and marketing. You call 33 countries home, from Cameroon, Canada, and Colombia to Ireland, Israel, and India. You speak more than 27 languages, including Hindi, Hungarian, Tamil, Urdu, and I am told English. You are incredibly accomplished. More than a quarter of you came into this program with at least another advanced degree under your belt. And among you, you will find a ballet dancer, a professional football player, a surfer, a model, an actor, and entrepreneurs, adventurers, and philanthropists of every stripe. Now, perhaps some of the most talented of you are the parents in this class. Yeah. In this day before Mother's Day, I would note that an impressive 27 of you welcomed a child during your time in the program. Good for you. And let's not forget about spouses and partners and children and loved ones who have supported you through residence weeks, international seminars, and weekends in the library. 17 of you tied the knot during the program. 22 more of you got engaged. Congratulations. Now, it has been particularly gratifying for all of us to see how you exemplify things we all hold dear about this school. You are bright, talented, committed to principles of leadership and entrepreneurial thinking, and you're committed to one another. I know I could tell you 296 success stories about today's graduates. One of them is Brooke Jones-Chinetti, who with 6 years of military experience and 2 deployments in the Middle East under her belt, found herself missing the community of strong intelligence service members that she was part of before coming back to civilian life. So recognizing that more than half of transitioning female veterans found the process to be more difficult than anticipated, she started Your Sequel, a network and mentorship platform that helps transition female vets with women leaders from the industries in which they're pursuing a career. With Your Sequel, Brooke is redefining mentorship for these vets, and I'm confident there's nothing but success in her future. Meredith Shields had a transition of her own during the program, moving from her role as a nurse practitioner to the world of pharma. It was an unexpected and welcome change, inspired by coursework in the core and electives in pharmaceutical marketing. She discovered she could bring her skills and interests as a practitioner to another field within the healthcare industry, and starting next summer, she'll be honing her new interests in a development program at Regeneron. Best of luck, Meredith. Now, a few of your classmates also had journeys that took unexpected turns. Bill Irvine made a U-turn when, after arriving for the program with the intent of joining an investment team, found himself instead co-founding and launching CarbonSol, a clean tech startup. His friend, a Columbia engineering student, supplied the business model. His classmates served as sounding boards, and his professors, the Lang Center and the Tamer Center, all served as advisors and mentors as he worked toward launch. With a mission to produce complex chemicals that can be used in common fashion and home goods, using waste-negative technology that impacts positively the environment, Bill and Carbon Soul just took home $10,000 at the Launch R competition. His team also secured one of 3 qualifying spots to compete in the Department of Energy's Clean Tech University Prize, where they'll be competing for an additional $100,000 grant. Congrats. No doubt we'll be hearing more. Now, many of you took tremendous leaps in your current careers or leaps of faith into new ones. With the encouragement of her classmates, Ronak Trivedi will go from the Army to Estee Lauder after she graduates. That's kind of a transition. Shankul Mittal went all in on launching a startup, On Point, a travel planning platform that personalizes and consolidates recommendations, tips, and itineraries based on demographics and interests and networks. And Hossein Azari surprised himself when 2 months into the program, he became co-founder and chief data scientist of Clarity Money, an app that helps more than 1 million users across the United States make better financial decisions. Just last month, the app was acquired by Goldman Sachs, a move I'm certain makes a great deal of sense, including CENTS. Now, finally, many of you forged relationships that have been both personally and professionally rewarding. Joe Schwartz and Dagger Eyolfsson became partners in a joint private equity venture that's already well on its way to success. And Amanda Raposo and Courtney Barnaby took their passion for fun and families and affordable childcare to launch Project Playdate. With a growing network of families and funding, Project Playdate is poised to be a successful and scalable model for childcare across the nation. Congrats to all of you. Now, since the day that you all arrived, all of us on faculty and staff have challenged you to be active and contributing members of the community. I can assure you and your guests that you have more than met this challenge as students, and I know you will continue to do so as you join 45,000 CBS alums around the world. That community is more important to you than ever, and the personal and professional relationships that you have forged at Columbia will form the foundation of that lifelong membership in the CBS community. Now, I know you've learned a lot here, but I just want to focus on 2 things that a great business school can impart. Your MBA is a calling card that says to the world, I'm entrepreneurial. I'm a problem solver. I understand the whole puzzle, not just a piece of it, and I know how to seize upon opportunity in any environment. That's the first big thing. The second important mark, a great program should, and this one does, prepare you for a lifelong career in business, in social enterprise, or for some of you, perhaps even public service. For all of you, what that means is not just a skill set, but a mindset that will enable you to succeed. And because you already know more than some less experienced MBAs about what you expect from your careers, you know that the value of your degree and experience will unfold over a lifetime. Now, you're graduating from the business school in a period of really exciting opportunity and change in the world of business, and you no doubt do so with a greater perspective on cycles. The curriculum you have experienced at Columbia is really focused with you on trying to grab an opportunity in any environment or cycle. And thanks to the school's position here in New York, you've benefited from unrivaled access to myriad industries and visionary business leaders. The reputation and strength of this school and your program has equipped you with what you need to succeed, combined with your own great abilities. As an alum, CBS will provide you with the connections and support to foster creativity, invite your entrepreneurial thinking, and open doors to opportunity. These tools will help give you the confidence and ability to succeed on your terms, and you couldn't be better prepared. But I have to say to you this morning as well that with the rewards of your MBA come responsibility. What does it really mean to be a graduate of Columbia Business School? I hope, we hope and expect that you recall that we are and always have been in the business of both value and values. Yes, we are proud to be the birthplace of value investing, and we strive to add value in all disciplines, but we also recognize and urge you to know that personal values matter a lot in the marketplace. So as you rise in your career, remember your courses and discussions in leadership and ethics, which I hope help you inspire others who work with you. I hope you recognize your role as proud stewards of the CBS brand and that you both tap into and add value to the community. So what's going to happen this morning? In one sense, the familiar sense, you'll graduate. You will become part of the school's alumni network throughout the world, and like so many grads before you, you're going to make your mark in the world. I know you're going to be inspired by your predecessors, like Jerry Spire, or Lee Cooperman, or Henry Kravis, Robert Smith, Russ Carson, Warren Buffett, Mario Gabelli, Vikram Pandit, James Gorman, John Martin, and Tim Campos, or any of 45,000 names I could rattle off. That community belongs to you. It's an asset. You should leverage it over your lifetime. But you know what? On days like this, I know everybody talks about graduate. I prefer a more old-fashioned term, commencement, because it makes an explicit reference to both beginnings and transitions. You're going to continue a life of engagement in business and society. And as you leave here, remember that the value of your EMBA experience will unfold over time. What I look forward to hearing from you in the years ahead is what you didn't expect, but got anyway, from the program and your degrees. I'm looking forward to hearing what this mindset will give you, your company, and our world. But if there's one thing not to forget, never forget what a noble calling business is, and the power that lies within each and every one of you this morning to transform lives of other business leaders and entrepreneurs, along with communities and nations around the world. Remember that your MBA, you should think of as a master of choices. What matters most to all of us is not the change jingling in your pockets after commencement, but the change you will make in the world. Give yourselves a round of applause and congratulations. It is now my pleasure to turn the microphone over to Kelly Martin Blanco. Kelly.
Thank you, Dean Hubbard. You all look fabulous. Congratulations. Can't wait to celebrate tonight. I said they'll look even better tonight, and somebody commented, well, at least at first. Good one. The Executive MBA Commitment to Excellence Award was established by the EMBA class of 1991 in memory of Professor Margaret K. Chandler. It's presented to a faculty member for contributions to the class, commemorating the high standards set by Professor Chandler. For the EMBA Americas class, this year's recipient is Donna Hittrich. Donna currently serves as Senior Lecturer of Finance, Director of the Private Equity Program, and a Sanford C. Bernstein Center for Leadership and Ethics faculty leader at Columbia Business School. Her courses include corporate finance, business law, mergers and acquisitions, and advanced corporate finance. She's been nominated for the Dean's Award for Innovation in the MBA curriculum for her advanced corporate finance course, and is a 6-time recipient of this award, the Executive MBA Commitment to Excellence Award. Prior to Donna's positions at Columbia, she had a long, successful career in investment banking and was a corporate lawyer. She received her MBA from Columbia Business School. Prior to that, she received BS and JD degrees from St. John's University, and she is also a New York State certified paramedic. So please welcome and congratulate Donna Hittrich with me.
Well, good morning, and thank you. I wish you could have seen what I saw coming in. It was the only time I saw EMBAs move slowly. But it's, as Dean Blanco said, I'm a proud graduate of Columbia Business School. I'm a 1990 alum, and as I've said many times, I'm totally in awe of the EMBAs. And I'm very, very fortunate. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that I knew Professor Chandler. I graduated, as I said, in 90. And I had an opportunity to take a class that she and Bill Klepper taught called Interpersonal Dynamics. And I echo what Dean Hubbard said about how important it is to have values. And one of the things I've always appreciated about the EMBAs is your ability to work together as a team. I've always said EMBAs can take any hill and take it well. So I just want to thank you today for letting me be part of your life, for making me be a very blessed person to get up every day and do something that I love to do. Not many people can say they do that, and I can honestly say I do that. And I thank you for allowing me to be here full-time at Columbia. It's when the EMBA program really started to take off that I was fortunate enough to be able to get a full-time job here. So I'm grateful for that. And I also want to share with you something that you may or may not know, which you were my inspiration to become a paramedic. I had been an EMT for many years, and I'd been always kicking around in the back of my mind that I wanted to go further. I wanted to take that next step. And I thought to myself, how on earth am I going to be able to go to class 3 nights a week? And I figured, well, that's only 12 hours. The EMBAs go every weekend for 16. And then I thought about all the rotations I had to do on the ambulances or in the OR or in the different places in the hospital. And I thought, well, they go all on those international seminars. Now, I will say rotations in the ER are not quite an international seminar. But it did take a lot of time, and I can't tell you how many times I thought of you guys and you inspired me, because there are days that, as much as I love doing what I do, when the one train is going this way and it's stopping here and you got to take a bus and all that stuff, I think about you guys, and sometimes I feel like I should get credit just because I showed up, right? You do more than show up. You do more than show up every single day. You've been a blessing in my life, and I'll leave you with one small thought, which is I saw a T-shirt here many years ago. And I think my husband Tom stole it. And what it did, it was made by one of the classes, and it had everybody's name in the class on the back. And it said, EMBA, doing more after midnight than most people do all day. So thank you very much for giving me this honor, and congratulations.
Thank you, Donna. It's now my pleasure this morning to introduce Amanda Raposo, who was chosen by the EMBA Americas class to speak today. Amanda is the founder of Project Playdate, a marketplace for safe, social, and stimulating childcare experiences, supporting children in the cultivation of joy, curiosity, and meaningful connection. After graduating from NYU in 2011 with a BA in social work, Amanda realized she needed to learn a thing or two about business. As an EMBA student, she served on the Lang Center for Entrepreneurship Student Advisory Board and as a teaching assistant for the Leader's Voice course. Amanda is the recent first prize winner of the university-wide Columbia Venture Competition and is currently working out of the Columbia Startup Lab to scale her company. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Amanda Raposo to the stage.
Good morning, Dean Hubbard, esteemed faculty, fellow students, friends, and family. Business students are evil. Business students are evil was the first line of my application to business school, and somehow Columbia still let me in. What were you thinking? Let me explain. My background is in social work, and business is evil was a common belief shared in that space. Those in business, many thought, are creating all of the problems that we were trying to fix. Now, of course, I went on to say that this notion is not only false, but also damaging to our collective ability in making the world a better place. Luckily, the person who read my application shared my strange sense of humor and let me in. Business students are evil was the first myth that I debunked by pursuing business school. Now that we're done, here are 4 more myths that I'd like to shed some light on. Myth number 1. CBS students are here because of their wealth and privilege. My Italian grandfather made it to New York as a stowaway on a boat. My Portuguese father made it to New York after 2 young siblings passed away due to a lack of basic health care on his island. Grandpa and Dad knew no English. They had no wealth or formal education. Yet their resilience gave me every opportunity to pursue my dreams. I see a version of this family story in so many of my peers and in their families from around the world. You have moved mountains to make it here, maybe so that one day your kids could pursue their own dreams. Dear friends, I'm humbled and inspired by you every day. Myth number 2. Business students only care about money. This couldn't be further from the truth. The most consistent core drivers behind each person I've met in this program have more to do with the desire to create opportunity for their loved ones, a personal legacy, a vision for a different and better world. Okay, and maybe a few extra bucks. Myth number 3. Full-time students are smarter than EMBA students. Okay, full-time. When you have someone in your program like David Kim, a successful serial entrepreneur who has started his own private equity firm, or Barrett, captain in the U.S. Army, now director of operations at Citigroup, or Brenda, CSO of her family business in Mexico and mom of 3, then maybe you can consider spreading such a ridiculous rumor. I invite you full-timers to challenge me on this one, and I would be more than happy to elaborate. Last but not least, myth number 4, CBS students spend most of business school partying. This one might be true, but hey, we call it networking. So now that we've debunked these myths, how do we look towards the future? Let's start with a simple truth. Nobody got here alone, and we all came here to better ourselves and the world around us. Last summer, I co-facilitated the Penn Columbia Social Impact House. We brought together 30 high-performing social entrepreneurs to a remote farm in Vermont so that they could recenter. When they left at the end of the week feeling inspired and empowered, there was a farewell sign in the driveway that said, "It could always be like this." Now, we may not always be able to sit in a class on accounting and learn about purple markers, thanks Professor Ziv, but we can still honor an intention to cultivate change and the people who got us here. So then what about this transformative experience can we carry with us into our next chapter? Well, that relationships are everything. There's absolutely nothing more powerful or important than investing your time and presence in the people around you. It was such a gift to take time out of each month to focus on gaining knowledge and self-awareness. This doesn't have to stop today. We can keep reading, keep exploring new skills. Let us stay curious and continue to challenge the status quo. EMBA enhanced our abilities in ways we might not even have anticipated. Ambition, combined with a refined set of skills, enables each of us to achieve great influence in the work that we do. Business is not evil, but that's only if people like us continue to push forward with integrity in our own areas of expertise. It is not just our privilege, but our responsibility. Finally, even when the pressures of balancing school and work and family were sometimes unbearable, we all carved out time to seek adventure and have a whole lot of fun together. It could always be like this: connection, curiosity, ambition, and joy. I wish this with my whole heart for each of you, and I cannot wait to hear about all of the ways that you change the world for the better. You have certainly already changed mine, and I couldn't be more grateful. And on behalf of my classmates, I'd like to extend this gratitude to all of our mothers, fathers, grandparents, partners, friends, children, mentors, from our past and in our present, who have made so many sacrifices so that each and every one of us could sit here right now. Thank you. With the resilience of those that came before us and the support of all of you sitting with us today, we've accomplished the things that our ancestors have only dreamt of. Congratulations, friends, and thank you.
For the EMBA New York Saturday class, this year's Executive MBA Commitment to Excellence Award recipient is Professor Paul Ingram. Paul Ingram is the Kravis Professor of Business at Columbia Business School and the Faculty Director of the Columbia Advanced Management Program, Columbia's flagship program for senior executives from around the globe. Additionally, he consults with leading companies across industries on organizational design and strategy. His research on organizations worldwide has been widely published and has been recognized with numerous awards and distinctions. Paul's undergraduate degree is from Brock University, where he received the Governor General's Award as the top graduating student and later received the Distinguished Graduate Award from Brock's Faculty of Business. His PhD is from Cornell University, and he served on the faculty at Carnegie Mellon University before joining us here at Columbia. At Columbia Business School, Paul has received the Dean's Award for Teaching Excellence, as well as the Executive MBA Commitment to Excellence Awards from 6 graduating EMBA classes. Please join me in congratulating Professor Ingram once again on receiving this prestigious distinction.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to get this award from Clusters E and M. And Clusters B and A, you didn't vote for me. So, E and M. You're about to become MBAs. The world will see you as captains of industry, masters of the market. You'll be expected to dominate your companies and crush your rivals. But when I look at you, I don't see conquerors. I see children. But not only because some of you threw tantrums when you arrived this morning and discovered there wasn't an omelet station. Really, I mean this comparison as a compliment to you. In fact, I see the same 2 great qualities in members of this class that I see in my own 2 daughters. Let me tell you first about my older daughter, Alexandra. On the first day of school in the fall this year, she came home with a newly issued school computer and a homework assignment to do a geology exercise using an app on that computer. It turns out that the computer hadn't been set up correctly, and she couldn't access the app, so she couldn't do the assignment. Well, we tried to install the app, but we couldn't figure it out. We emailed the teacher, but we didn't get a response. So eventually, I told her that this was the type of thing that happens on the first day of school, and everybody would understand, and it would be worked out the next day. So she went to bed, and so did I. An hour later, she came into my room in distress, and she woke me up. I was afraid there was some kind of health emergency. But what had upset her so much was that she hadn't been able to complete her homework. At the age of 11, she already took her assignment, her responsibilities, so seriously that she couldn't sleep without completing them. That example helps me to understand you. It helped me particularly to be patient when I got the 20th email from members of this class asking how to find something on Canvas. I know that the students in this class care deeply about meeting their responsibilities, that they care about doing the right things for their companies, their communities, and their families. Clusters B and A, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this, but next time vote for me. My younger daughter Amanda is 5 years old, almost 6. In the last couple of months, Amanda has been learning to play chess, and she seems to have a knack for it. In her chess class, at the end of every session, they have a tournament, a competition. In the first 3 weeks of class, she won each tournament. I went to pick her up from the 4th class session, the 4th week of class, and the chess master comes up to me with a concerned look on his face, and he says, "We have to talk." And he says to me, "Amanda won again. We have to do something about this." Well, I was infuriated, and I let him know it. I told him how sick I was of this culture of punishing success, and that I knew the game of chess, and there was no way to play it without allowing for the possibility that somebody was going to win. Well, I was a few minutes into this diatribe when he stopped me, and he said the problem wasn't that Amanda was winning, it was what she did when she won. It turns out, when she wins, she does a victory dance. She's been known to moon her opponent. Apparently that isn't done in chess, who knew? But anyway, Amanda reminds me of this class also. I know that you love to win and revel in success. That's admirable too. So what I really mean when I say that I think of you as children is that in my mind, you represent the best in all of us. A commitment to do the right thing combined with a love of winning. And that as children, those fine qualities are very close to the surface in members of this class. I'd like to leave you with an idea about how, as you go forward, you can combine these two great qualities. On July 16th, 2016, we talked in class about the fact that people are happiest when they're pursuing a dream. And that actually achieving a dream is a mixed blessing because it can leave you aimless. I suggested that if you ever achieved a dream, you should savor it for a weekend and then on Monday identify a new aspiration. I can tell you now that when I gave you that message in your first semester, I was actually thinking forward to this graduation day. You've achieved something fabulous. Even you, B&A. You have won, and you deserve the chance to do your victory dance. Enjoy this weekend with your family and friends, and be proud of yourselves as I'm proud of all of you. But don't wallow in your success. Come Monday morning, start thinking about the next great thing that you're going to achieve, and make it something worthy of you, something that reflects your drive to meet your responsibilities and to do the right thing. Robert Louis Stevenson wrote that it is better to travel hopefully than to arrive. That is my hope for you, that you travel hopefully. And I'm so grateful to be here to see you begin your journeys. Thank you and congratulations.
It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce Rocky Granahan, who... As you might have surmised, she was chosen by her fellow students to be the graduation speaker for the EMBA New York Saturday class. So let me tell you a little bit about Rocky. Rocky Granahan is a senior vice president at Oppenheimer Funds, leading the institutional relationship management team for her clients invested in global equity strategies. She has been with Oppenheimer Funds for 24 years, based out of their New York City office. She graduated from Iona College with a BA in marketing. She was born in Quezon City, Philippines, and immigrated to the United States, moving to the Bronx with her family when she was 4 years old. She was the first in her family to graduate from college and is minutes away from being the first in her family to graduate with an MBA. She lives with her husband, Dennis, and her 2 sons, Riley and Owen, in Lincroft, New Jersey. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Rocky Granahan.
So to make sure you can see me, I just have to do one more thing. Is that better? Well, good morning, Dean Hubbard, Dean Blanco, distinguished faculty, family, friends, and to the 2018 Saturday EMBAs. I was hoping you'd do that. Okay. My name is Rocky Granahan, and on behalf of the Saturday EMBAs, I want to acknowledge our families who have supported our journey. And I would especially like to thank my husband, Dennis, who has held our family together for the past 2 years, and my 2 sons, Riley and Owen, who have been terrifically patient and understanding. And I hope the 3 of you don't mind that you get all of my energy and focus back every Saturday going forward. Our class would also like to thank the Office of Student Affairs, especially Felicia Goodman and Christina Montville, who guided us through this adventure, answered every email, and there were never any complaints. So today is a special day, but for me, it's not as special as tomorrow, which is Mother's Day. Including me, there are a total of 5 EMBA moms: Diana, Simone, Connie, and Marjan. Beginning tomorrow will be the first day we can celebrate Mother's Day without the worry of homework for the past 2 years. And I'd like to wish all of the mothers and grandmothers here today and those in heaven a very happy Mother's Day. In addition to the EMBA moms, I want to applaud the 18 EMBA dads. We survived and we thrived. We fed off each other's energy and leaned on each other for support, believing in the importance of showing our kids that to stay curious, and whether you're a parent or not, we all share the same belief that you're never too old to learn something new. So I have a challenge for you today. I can't leave you without one challenge. I want you to think about, if it's not you, then who? If it's not you, then who? I took this challenge with my EMBA experience. EMBA for me was about overcoming my fears and eliminating regret. 20 years ago, I chose love instead of an MBA, and I don't regret that decision. In fact, love is at the top of my values hierarchy. And I have a beautiful family as a reward for that great decision. But there's been this gnawing in my gut and this voice in my head that has kept telling me, you're not good enough just yet, and your best days are yet to come. So April 22nd, 2016 was our first day of orientation. And on that day, you may have thought you met a confident woman on the outside, but some of you might know I was a hot mess on the inside. I was. Fear came over me sitting in that auditorium, looking around at all of you, all 120 successful professionals representing 20 different countries, and family and friends, they speak over 30 languages, and yes, English was one of them. We had an Emmy winner in Rich Amsinger. We had Simone Lewis as our America's Next Top Model finalist. We had entrepreneurs and more. And I scared myself even more, knowing that most of you had better knowledge of Excel functions than I had. You did. I know it seems silly, but I sat there in the room in awe, and I just asked myself, can I build relationships with such a diverse group of people? Could I survive and keep up with them? And will I fit in? Then the voice of my high school principal, Sister Mary Ellen, came through with a better question in my head. She taught me the importance of resilience, sacrifice, and to let my voice be heard. She would say to me, you've got the tools and skills, so if you don't do it, who will? If it's not you to take on the challenge, then who? If it's not you, then who? I witnessed numerous examples of our classmates taking on the challenge, if it's not you, then who, at Columbia Business School Matters. And for those of you who are not familiar with Columbia Business School Matters, we refer to it as CBS Matters. And it's a 10-minute presentation given by students to share their background and their goals. And in the storytelling, it demonstrated that we were actually more alike than different. So one of the most powerful stories I remember from CBS Matters came from Marjan Dean. Marjan Dean slayed the challenge, if it's not you, then who? She's our class example of resilience. She became a mother at a very young age, and her judgment was questioned by those closest to her. But putting aside her feelings of being overwhelmed and alone, she made the decision. She said nobody else could be a better mother to that child than her. She not only graduated from college with an infant in tow, she went on to become an engineer, earned her first master's degree in information sciences, is a tech executive who's minutes away from earning her MBA. She took baskets of lemons and made lemonade, living her happily ever after with love and support from her husband and daughter. Another powerful CBS Matters moment of accepting the challenge, if it's not you, then who, is a story about sacrifice, and that was told during our first residency weekend. Jordan Frayne was deployed to Iraq, where during a routine road stop, he and his troops found themselves in life-threatening combat, leaving him unconscious. When he came to, his protective instincts came through, which resulted in saving many lives. Jordan is a decorated U.S. military veteran who was awarded a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star with Valor. In addition to Jordan Frayne accepting the challenge, if it's not you, then who, I'd also like to acknowledge all of our U.S. military veterans, Teresa Ha, Jessica Hutton, Craig Lieb, Rick Miles, Kurt Schwab, and Uri Shansky. We all thank you for the sacrifices you made to our country. My final example of a cohort taking on the challenge, if it's not you, then who, is known as our most overzealous class participant. I know you know who it is. And you can say a lot of things about Kyle Moran's approach. But, if you allowed yourself to get beyond that point, you would understand that he was demonstrating the importance of letting your voice be heard. He showed us the importance to let the other party know to make room for one more idea. He willed his voice to be heard, and at the end of the day, he went from negotiating every single one of us in class to negotiating one of the biggest deals in Major League Baseball. Well done, Kyle. And I leave you with one final thought, because Mother knows best. The past 2 years have been our journey of stretching beyond the comfort of the sea of sameness. We experienced inner growth, and some of us achieved inner peace to confidently say, yes, I am more than good enough. However, if you feel that your calling has yet to arrive, it's okay. Be open and have courage. Clarity allows us to see the challenges that lie ahead so that you can answer the calling and the challenge. If it's not you, then who? A Columbia Business School MBA is a badge of honor that I wear with you proudly to remind us that we are at the very center of business. I was very moved when I learned that you gave me this opportunity to speak on your behalf today. I am forever grateful and am humbled by your friendship. Congratulations to the 2018 EMBAs, and may the force of good be with you.
Thank you, Rocky. For the EMBA New York Friday, Saturday class, this year's Executive MBA Commitment to Excellence Award recipient is Jay Daya. Jay's primary areas of expertise are corporate finance, mergers and acquisitions, corporate governance, corporate valuation, and international financial markets. He's taught finance at the undergraduate, MBA, EMBA, and PhD levels, and is the recipient of several teaching awards. His research has been published in leading finance journals as well. Jay has served as vice president in the capital markets group at a top investment bank and has provided training and advisory services to numerous organizations around the world. He is associate professor of finance at Baruch College, a doctoral faculty member at the CUNY Graduate Center, and a research fellow in finance and economics at Cambridge University's Judge Business School. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Jay Daya to the stage.
I'd like to thank EMBA 2018 Friday, Saturday for the Commitment to Excellence Award. I was truly surprised to be selected, truly humbled by your choice, and highly value this honor. Your decision to select me had me thinking about how I might define value in my life. In class, we talk about value in assets, financial securities, companies. Our journey, for most of us, took us from discussions of how George Costanza and Kramer from Seinfeld might run hair care companies, through to the complexities of value in a vineyard, when I'm sure we would have preferred to be sampling the product. But what else can we put a value on? What about family and community? Every graduate today has a family or network of people who have contributed to your successes. Many of these people are here today or around the world celebrating your achievements with you. And I think it's worth taking a minute to put a value on their contributions and to thank them for their input. But how can we attach a monetary value to this? Let me use myself as an example. Although my immigrant parents weren't educated, they pushed me, sometimes unwillingly, and sometimes in the middle of a soccer match. Most of you know that's my first love. To appreciate education. In their words, loko tamara kapra paisa anegar ne leishakeche par tamara saraswati nahi. Literally translated, people can take your clothes, money, home, but they can't take knowledge away from you. My path could have easily led somewhere different, but this value put me on the road to a PhD that carried me here today. What is the value of my parents' perseverance? How much do I owe them? Math is something we use every day in finance, both in industry and academia. My brother taught me math and infused in me a love for numbers. My brother also taught me how to fight, with him. My broken nose is testament to that. But what is the value of those math skills and love for numbers? How much is it worth in dollars? How much do I owe him? Moving on to my oldest sister. She obviously couldn't wait for me to move out. Her contribution to my path was teaching me how to look after myself so I could go out and explore and experience the world. She taught me how to cook, to clean, to do laundry, to iron. I still use her recipes. She's really a great cook. And her stain-removing secrets when I'm doing my laundry today. What should she charge me for this knowledge? What is the monetary value that one would put on that? My argumentative little sister taught me verbal gymnastics and how to reason. I once tried to teach her how to drive a car. 50 yards into her first lesson, she convinced me that she knew everything. She needed to know, so I got out of the car, having learned that her debating skills were clearly much better than mine, and obviously so were her driving skills. But now I can reason and debate with you, the finest students, or should I say graduates of the world. How much do I owe her for this skill that I use every day in the classroom with you? What about my extensive community growing up? The librarian Paul, who allowed me to take as many books as I could carry home with me when the limit was 3. My teacher, Mr. Shanenko, who would meet me after school in his own time to give me learning problems that would keep me challenged. What is the value of the community that kept me going through the path that has led me here today? So let's fast forward. Today, I have 2 children who teach me patience, humility, and how to make sledding on the coldest day of the year fun. No value can be put on that. And my wife, who was schooling me in compassion and caring for others, while letting me believe that I am smarter than her, though I know the truth. She graduated from Columbia. There have been so many contributions from people in my life that have led me here and to all of you today. And now I consider you a part of my family. I have learned from you that we all have a story about the people and communities who have led us here to the South Lawn. In the process, we have laughed, argued, shed a tear, and learned together. You have learned that finance is not as scary as you may have once believed. Many of you with no background in corporate finance, I have seen grow to understand and appreciate the inner workings of valuation and its importance in business. And it always brings me great joy to see, I get it now moment in my students, when the light bulb goes off, and to see the completion of the infamous 5-hour-long bear of an exam. We've valued our time together, and it has impacted my path like it has impacted yours, I hope. As you probably have guessed by now, not even your finance professor could put a monetary value on all the family and community contributions that make us who we are today. Though a word of caution, some of your family and friends sitting around here today listening to my talk may want to cash in on their contributions. I suggest that you have your checkbooks and credit cards at the ready. And a note to family and friends, I am available to negotiate a settlement should you need for a small fee. On a more serious note, enjoy this day. Take time to value the contributions of your own family and community to your success. Take the lessons and the memories from your courses and continue on your path that has been shaped by so many. While you're at it, contribute to another's. If you do this, then I will know I have taught you well. Last but not least, people now ask me, now that you've won this award, what are you going to do? And on that final note, hey kids, we're going to Disney. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. So it's now my pleasure to introduce Carolyn Disbrow, who is selected by the EMBA New York Friday-Saturday class to speak today. Carolyn is the Senior Director of Brand Marketing for CNN Worldwide, where she has been employed for almost all of her 16-year career. Carolyn has a Bachelor of Arts degree from University of Virginia with a concentration in American government. She also holds a Master of Science degree with a concentration in broadcast journalism from Columbia University's Graduate School of Journalism. During her time at CBS, Carolyn traveled to 10 countries and served as teaching assistant for several electives. She was community representative for her cluster and EMBA Vice President for the Media Management Association. Additionally, Carolyn audited a number of classes during the program, and if she were to receive credit for those classes, would now be graduating with more than 6 courses worth of extra credit. So please join me in congratulating and welcoming Carolyn.
7 years ago, I was in an accident, and I suffered a serious head injury. I recovered, but for some time, my speech was slow and labored. I often struggled to find the words I needed to say. My story is not unique in that all of us, no matter what race, gender, or nationality, have struggled with challenges and adversity to be here. I want to thank the wonderful classmates from the Friday and Saturday class of 2018 for the opportunity to address you today. 7 years ago, I would never have believed this moment would be possible. I have a story about adversity, camaraderie, and responsibility to tell you. It begins August 26, 2016. It was a sweltering Friday in New York City. The sun rose that morning at 6:17 a.m. and it set that night at 7:37 p.m. The temperature lingered just below 100 all day. Bitcoin was selling for $578. August 26, 2016 was the day we met for the very first time. In room 301 in the building behind me, nervously, we gathered at 9 a.m. to begin a journey that forever changed our lives. For you, our friends and families, August 25th, 2016 marks the last day you saw us for any substantial length of time. And going forward, you will see more of us, we promise. Indeed, thanks to the copious amounts of food Columbia has fed us the past 2 years, there is actually more of us to see than there was on August 26, 2016. That first day, we were introduced to each other by Dean Carlson. We created our contracts in our learning teams, pledging to each other to be respectful, to be courteous, and to be on time. We promised to do all of our homework and to turn it in early. God loves a trier. Professor Paul Ingram walked us through our first case. Tentatively, we raised our hands and offered our first answers. We soon discovered the importance of those learning teams. The professors give you so much work in business school, you can't possibly do it alone. You have to work together, which is maybe the most important lesson we learned. As management expert Ken Blanchard said, none of us is as smart as all of us, which is particularly true if you've never had accounting. Our first accounting assignment was supposed to take 2 hours, and by the way, never believe a professor when they say an assignment will take you 2 hours. It is always some multiple of 2 hours. We spent 18 hours trying to figure out non-controlling interest, where to put it on the balance sheet, and how to account for a joint venture. We suffered through back-to-back 3-hour lectures and take-home midterm exams that ticked like a bomb, counting down the minutes until you had to turn in your spreadsheet with every conceivable answer you could pull out of thin air in a desperate attempt for a high pass. Every so often, someone would point out the fact that we voluntarily signed up for this, and we were paying a lot of money to be here. And then there were the finals. Do you remember that moment we walked into Watson Library in the business school building to study? We looked at each other and we thought, so we found the club, but does anybody know where the library is? The social networking in Watson Library is so loud it is truly futile to try to study there. You only go there to party between classes. Since we partied in the library, we had to study everywhere but there for finals. We studied on planes, on trains, in our offices during lunch breaks, and of course, every hour of every weekend. Everyone had their own personal strategy for taking finals. Some of us sat in the same seat in the same room for every test, never straying from a routine in the hopes of a miracle. Some of us carb loaded. Some of us waited until the night before to learn all of the material, aced the exam, and ruined the curve for the rest of us. It wasn't all work. We traveled the world together. As a matter of fact, if we were doing anything, we were doing it together. If we were running marathons, if we were starting companies, if we were eating, studying, hiking, working, drinking, napping, we were doing it together. Mostly, we created opportunities for each other to succeed. Comedian Amy Poehler said, "Find a group of people who challenge and inspire you. Spend a lot of time with them, and it will change your life." My standing here is an example of what my classmates have done for me. Today, May 12th, 2018, is our final lecture. The sun rose at 5:42 a.m., and it will set at 8:03 p.m. tonight. And just like August 26, 2016, something new begins today. The topic of our final lecture centers on how do we take the responsibility born of this great opportunity to change the world. Columbia has given us more than a degree. It has provided us the potential to be leaders with a concurrent responsibility to be of service. This is our greatest assignment. Together, we all move forward from this lawn forever better, forever changed, and all of us possessed of an opportunity that Hemingway captured so beautifully in saying, "There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self." Our time at Columbia has made this possible. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2018 has already accepted the challenge and responsibility to change the world. 6% of the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies are women. 20% of the members of the United States Congress are women, yet 100% of today's student speakers are women. Beginning today with our families who have loved us, created us, and supported us, together we share the responsibility and the power to improve our lives and the lives of those around us, to speak for those who are silent, and to take immutable, broken circumstances and fix them. There will always be challenges. Nothing is easy, and nothing is given. But how can we be anything other than exuberantly hopeful? Given the extraordinary people gathered here today? Let me be very clear. These are the people who will make all of our tomorrows brighter. Thank you to the professors in the administration of Columbia Business School. Thank you to our friends and families. And finally, congratulations and thank you to the wonderful men and women of Columbia Business School, class of 2018. It is now my honor to introduce today's commencement speaker. The world rightly knows John Martin as a highly successful media executive. Mr. Martin is the chairman and chief executive officer of Turner, a global portfolio of media brands including CNN, HLN, TBS, TNT, Bleacher Report, Turner Classic Movies, Adult Swim, and the Cartoon Network. He stands at the helm of one of the world's largest media companies, at a moment when many are wondering about the future of what has been historically called television. John has led Turner on a mission to reimagine television, transforming every part of Turner's business by focusing the company and its brands on being one of the largest creators and acquirers of original content, delivering unique audience experiences fueled by innovative technology and data-driven insights. He doesn't just embrace change, he runs with it. Prior to assuming his current position in 2014, John served as Time Warner's Chief Financial and Administrative Officer. It's somewhat unusual for someone with a background in finance, by profession, John is a CPA, to emerge as a media innovator. But John Martin is just that. He talks about his company in terms of content and in terms of distribution, but he is just as quick to say he wants Turner to be a place where people enjoy working. This is the mark of a true leader, because whether it's the consumer we cannot see or the employee we may not know, without these stakeholders being well served, we cannot succeed in business. John's academic grounding is rigorous. He received his bachelor's degree in economics from Wharton and his MBA with a concentration in finance and organizational behavior right here at Columbia. He serves on the board of overseers of Columbia Business School, as well as the board of the Paley Center for Media. That is how the wider world knows John Martin. I know John Martin as a dedicated mentor and champion for his employees. John was the first person at the company I told of my interest in applying to CBS. He was immediately encouraging, supportive, and generous with his advice. I want to therefore use this platform not only to personally thank him for all he has done for me, but for also the many other employees at Turner and Time Warner that he has coached throughout the years. Deans, classmates, and honored guests, please join me in welcoming a global business leader, a mentor, and a true friend to Columbia Business School, Mr. John Martin.
Wow. Carolyn, congratulations. I'm proud of you. Amazing. Congratulations to all of you. Two things before I even start. Number one, how do you know what time the sun came up this morning? There was no sun. And the second thing, and to my professor, my colleague, my friend, Dean Hubbard, when Carolyn was introducing me, he looks over at me, he goes, "Fake news." Thank you, sir. It's awesome. So thank you, Carolyn, Dean Hubbard, distinguished faculty, members of the administration, proud parents, you should be proud, and of course to you, the most important people here today, the graduates. Congratulations. Please accept my sincere congratulations. It's an honor and a privilege to be with you this morning, and I am humbled by the invitation to speak with you. And I apologize for my voice. I'm having a little bit of an allergy attack, New York City style, so I'm going to try to get through this. But as I thought about what to say this morning, because I've never done this before, this is actually a little daunting, so bear with me. I went basically what everybody does. I went to YouTube and I watched 25 commencement addresses. And most of them sucked. Some were inspirational, some were funny, and some were informative, and some were really just good in general. But you know what? When I got done with the 25th one, I said, none of them is even remotely relevant to my life. And so if you're going to ask me to come here and speak this morning, I'm actually going to tell you about my story. So you got to bear with me here. My professional journey began in 1994 when I graduated from the Columbia Business School. And it was an honor and a privilege to be here. And just bear with me for this is going to take just a few minutes. But what really struck me is the world that you're now advancing into in your business career versus the world when I was in 1994. I mean, the Dow was less than 4,000. The interest rate was 8.5%. Think about that, 8.5% versus now where we almost have no interest. On the global front, Bill Clinton and Boris Yeltsin signed the Kremlin Papers, effectively ending a decade of long nuclear threat between Russia and America. Our love affair with Russia continues. Nelson Mandela was elected president of South Africa. Serbia was attacking Bosnia. Tensions were growing around the nuclear threat of North Korea. Well, that hasn't changed. The first Gulf War ended, and no one ever used the word terrorism. Think about that. On the tech front, Netscape launched its web browser, quickly became the market leader. And to be clear, this was not the instantaneous and mobile web experience we enjoy today, but rather a terribly slow process of staring at a rotating ball and hoping that your dial-up connection worked. Even so, I'm proud to say that I was part of the first class at Columbia Business School that allowed laptops in the classroom. And they were terrible. Mark Zuckerberg was 10. Kurt Cobain was found dead. OJ was driving a white Bronco. And one of the most popular TV shows in the United States was Beavis and Butthead, proving that even then, there was hope for America's youth. I was married, and in my spare time, I played soccer also, which is my passion and my love. But I was in the process of sunsetting a really bad mullet haircut, and I was thankful for that. And I anticipate that similar to how you all feel today, I had a lot of enthusiasm graduating from the Columbia Business School, but also some trepidation about how am I going to take this world-class, amazing educational experience that I received and actually apply it in the real world. So how did I get here? I was at dinner 2 years ago with a college friend of mine from when I went to Penn. And he referred to me as the quote-unquote accidental CEO. And I looked at him and I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, I don't mean any disrespect, but of all the people that we went to school with at Penn, you were the last person we expected to succeed. Oddly enough, I didn't take any disrespect with that. And why is that? Well, I grew up on Long Island, the son of two hardworking parents, neither of whom went to college. My dad was a Navy veteran. He owned a Carvel ice cream store, so I was the most well-fed, ice-creamed kid of anybody that I knew on Long Island. He owned it for 13 years, and for 13 years, he took 3 days off a year. On Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. He worked 362, how many days are there? 362? 363 in a leap year. He worked 362 days a year. And he never complained. He had to do it because he had to provide for our family. And I learned my work ethic from watching my father day in and day out. My mother worked part-time with him, but she always had time for myself and my two older sisters. And she always had a kind word, a great sense of humor, and everybody that knew her loved her a lot. I inspire to emulate her kindness and her humility in everything that I do. So I got good grades in high school, we all did. I graduated second in my high school class, and I was accepted to Wharton. To be honest, none of my peers or teachers in my high school believed that I was Ivy League material, and several of them tried to talk me out of going to Wharton because they thought I would fail out. And the more that they told me that I was going to fail, the more I wanted to prove them wrong, and the more I wanted to succeed. So I went to Wharton, and I focused most of my energy on playing soccer and attending parties. My grades were good, but not great. But if you included a component of my grades of party attendance, I would have graduated summa cum laude. So upon graduating, I went to go work at Ernst & Young. I had no idea what the hell I wanted to do. So I went into the accounting profession. I went to go work at Ernst & Young. I stayed there for a few years, and then I came to the Columbia Business School. And I came here to get a diploma. And instead, I got an education. And while everyone's journey is different, I want to share with you 5 beliefs that have helped me as I've done my own journey through my career. First, in my congratulations to you on graduating, be prepared to work hard. Work very hard. You're already doing it. You're already accomplished. You're already highly intelligent. But the competitive landscape is not getting any easier. I don't have to tell you that. And even the most gifted people have to work really hard. Prodigies are like unicorns. They don't exist. Hard work gets you to advancement. Together with working hard, don't ever give up. You'll rarely achieve anything you want in the first try. In fact, failure is a critical component of any success story. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. Don't accept the status quo. In fact, be fearful of the status quo. I've seen more change in business in the last 4 years than I've seen in the previous 15 years. It's both energizing and terrifying. Set ambitious goals, and it'll keep you motivated. Second, find a mentor. Actively seek out a mentor. It changed my professional career. I ran investor relations beginning in 2002. I worked for a gentleman by the name of Dick Parsons. He was the chairman and CEO of Time Warner. He then went on to become the chairman of Citigroup, and he's done any number of things, including running the LA Clippers for a year, which was probably everybody's dream. He changed my life. He somehow took a liking to me, and to this day, I still don't know why. But from a career standpoint, he made all the difference in the world to me, and he's still an incredible friend and a colleague. And actively seek out a mentor. We all need people who are going to be champions of us. And so I would encourage you to take advantage of whatever resources are available for you. Third, find your inner EQ. You all have high IQ. You're all sitting here graduating from the Columbia Business School with an MBA degree. But how many people know people that are terrible to be around and work with? You know, it's all about me. I did this. I'm great. You suck. The people truly in life that you want to work with are those people that have not only a high IQ, but more importantly, a high EQ. So what I try to do from my mom is I try to channel her kindness, her generosity, her graciousness, her humbleness. And it has really served me well in my career. And I may never have another success in business again, but I've gotten to this place in part because I've extended a level of graciousness to people that they've really appreciated and they've reciprocated. And I think that's incredibly important. And there's so many smart people in this world that just miss that. And be the type of colleague that people want to work with. I think it's invaluable. Fourth, find and nurture diverse teams. You've probably experienced that a lot. I mean, as Dean Hubbard said, and others have commented, you're all incredibly diverse with backgrounds and different experiences, and that's great. Continue to seek that out as you go through your career. Encourage diversity of opinion, and please accept views that are inconsistent with your own. Fight against your own insecurities, and if you're in a position of leadership, make sure that people around you feel safe to offer a dissenting opinion. My boss, the chairman and CEO of Time Warner, requires in any meeting where there's a material decision that's going to get made, there has to at least be one person in the room who disagrees with the recommendation. Jesus, what the? This thing is crazy. And it's like a plant. It's like, okay, that seat is for the dissenting opinion. But what he does then is he'll explore that person's dissenting opinion, why they don't agree with the rest of the group, and through the process of disciplined debate, you inevitably always wind up making better decisions. I mean, it's one of the most amazing things I've learned from him. And so search to surround yourself with people who are not just going to tell you yes. Surround yourself with people that are going to give you a hard time. And fifth, and this is most important, hope for a little luck sometime along the way with your journey. I've had numerous pivotal moments in my life where I've gotten a promotion or I gained additional responsibility only because I've been at the right place at the right time. I have worked with so many talented executives, and sometimes being in the right place at the right time, I've been lucky, and I'm thankful for it. And so I can probably credit the last 4 promotions to just the mere fact that either somebody retired, they moved over, they got promoted, and I was in the right place at the right time. So I wish you as much luck as I've had in my own professional career. So as you sit here today, I encourage all of you to figure out how you want to define your own journey and your success. The path to success is always under construction. You're all starting off with the gift of intelligence. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. But intelligence alone doesn't mean that you're going to succeed. Like I said, it's some cocktail or combination of all these other things that are going to help you all along your way. And I read recently that millennials are looking at companies that have a noble purpose. The World Economic Forum found that a sense of purpose in work is the second most important characteristic of a company, second only to salary. All of the most powerful movements in popular culture, whether, if you think in music, whether it was punk or hip hop, or things of a much higher order, such as civil rights, all come from a place of having a noble purpose. I'm in a business that manages powerful brands that influences popular culture, from kids to entertainment to sports to news, and brands are more than just a combination of purchases and sales. I lost my last page of the script. Holy shit. All right, I found it. Relax. I got it. I scared you, right? Brands are more than just an aggregation of products of people buying and selling them, but brands should stand for something. And if we fulfill the noble purpose of Turner, then it should enable us to deliver a game-changing rallying cry, which is going to make our business even more successful. So today, noble purpose is really driven by two macro factors, macro drivers. First, economic abundance, and second, unprecedented connectivity. Now, those sound great, economic abundance, unprecedented connectivity, but both come at a cost. So last year, the S&P closed at a record high. It was a fantastic year for economic abundance in many countries, but in many societies, there's a phenomenon being described of the normalization of loneliness. The US Surgeon General has described loneliness as an epidemic, and since the 1960s, single-person households have doubled here in the United States to represent 30% today, which is a staggering number. Because of this culture of detachment, the UK just named a minister of loneliness to combat the social norms that are happening around the world. Our nature as people, we're pack animals. We gather in herds. We have family. We have friends. We want a sense of security, and we want to be loved and accepted and appreciated by others. The consequence of ambition, though, striving in your career, is by definition going to push you in the direction of loneliness. So I mention that only because I hope that you'll push against that. To be alone, it's leading to a breakdown in our social norms and our society in general. And with respect to, I'm bringing the good weather. This is great. And with respect to unprecedented connectivity, and my two children are here today, and I love them, and I'm so proud of them, but they are a definition of connectivity. In fact, you guys are probably on your phones right now. A day without Wi-Fi in my home is Armageddon. If Alexa doesn't speak to us, we feel rejected. So our ability to connect on a global scale whenever we want is one of our greatest technological advances in the last century. But this connectivity is ironically leading to a culture of detachment. How many of you have entered into a relationship or exited a relationship via text, or via Facebook Messenger, or via Snapchat? I said to my daughter once when she ended a relationship, I said, "Did you not think to call on the phone?" She's like, "Who would do that?" I would ask you to fight against these phenomena. Why? Because this world needs leaders. Business leaders, political leaders, philanthropists, and so on. And at Turner, we encourage belonging through what we call fandom. Understanding the power of connectivity, we merge science and creativity to galvanize audiences, to become communities of fans, to share their passions and experiences. So please, find your fandom, find your passions, find your voice. Don't compromise who you are as individuals. Use that power of connectivity to be able to affect the world in ways that nobody could have imagined when I graduated from the Columbia Business School in 1994. Be involved, stay educated. Believe it or not, this is not the end of your education. We're all still learning. Stay involved, stay educated, become active, take the eagerness that you feel today and use it to help shape the world in the future. We need you. So please accept my humble congratulations. I'm proud of all of you, and I wish you only the best in the future. Thank you.
Big congratulations to the 3 EMBA classes of 2018. It is so nice to see personal former students under the tent. I am very proud at your achievements. Congratulations also to my colleagues, Donna, Paul, and Jay, for receiving the Commitment for Excellence Award, so well deserved. 5 years ago, the EMBA class of 2013 bestowed the Commitment for Excellence Award to Professor Nachum Elumad, who received it in person. The following year, the EMBA class of 2014 bestowed the Commitment for Excellence Award again to Professor Nachum Elumad. Unfortunately, Nachum could not personally accept the prize as he passed earlier in the year. His wife Maya and daughter Shiri, who is with me today, accepted the prize on his behalf. Shiri is actually stepping into her father's big shoes. She graduated from Columbia Business School last year with a PhD in marketing, and now is an assistant professor of marketing at Wharton. Professor Nachum Elumad Professor Nachum Elumad was a gifted scholar, amazing teacher, and a beloved friend for everyone. He was my personal mentor for almost 30 years. After his untimely passing, we wanted to ensure that his memory stays with us and with the school forever. We also wanted to capture Nachum's unique personality and qualities into his memorial. 2 things came to mind. Nachum was the best at everything he did, and Nachum had a great passion for teaching, in particular in EMBA. So his friends in the accounting division initiated the Nachum D. Melumad Memorial Award, the highest honor given at the recognition ceremony to graduating students from each class in the Executive MBA program. The recipients have demonstrated exceptional academic skills as well as a significant impact on the Columbia community. Each of today's 3 awardees will receive, above and beyond the big honor, a check in the amount of $2,000. This is the 5th time we are honoring the Nachum Elumad Award. The recipient for the EMBA New York Saturday class is Kyle Moran. Where is Kyle? The recipient from the EMBA America class is Dagger Yolfson. And the recipient from the EMBA New York Friday Saturday class is Caitlin Riyom. Thank you, and congratulations to all of you.
Students who demonstrate exceptional academic performance in the top 5% of their class graduate with Dean's Honors with Distinction. As I call your names, please stand to be recognized. The following students will graduate with Dean's Honors with Distinction for the EMBA New York Saturday class. Thomas D'Arminio, Juan Herrera, Kyle Moran, Jillian Robbins, Uri Shansky, and Jackson Tanis. The following students will graduate with Dean's Honors with Distinction from the EMBA Americas class. Dagger Ejolfson and Joe Schwartz. Wait a second. I think I'm missing one. Okay, sorry. All right. Following students will graduate with Dean's Honors with Distinction for the EMBA New York Friday Saturday class. Jonathan Gold. Nick Graff. Ilya Ivashkov. Danielle Lachance. Gulru Ozdogan. Kathleen Riome. Sarah Walter. One moment. I just couldn't stop without confirming that. So congratulations to all of you for this very large, for this very big accomplishment.
The Ethan R. Hannaberry Student Representative Awards are presented to the elected Academic, Cluster, Career, Honor Board, Women in Business, and Executive Board student representatives to recognize their dedication to serving the interests of their classmates and to the overall betterment of the Executive MBA program. The Dean's Office has named these awards for Ethan Hannaberry, who successfully led the school's EMBA programs as well as other critical areas of the school before his retirement in 2011. As I read each of your names, please stand at your place so that we may recognize you. The representatives for the EMBA New York Saturday class are Rich Amsinger, Danielle Beneduce, Anne-Sophie Cartre, Inji Choi, Dana Greenbaum, Elliot Haston, William Irvine, Michael Loretta, Stephen Norman, and Lauren Pakin. Okay. The representatives for the EMBA Americas class are Courtney Burnaby, Brittany Johnson, Isaac Mwezi Kutesa, Nate Littlewood, Alexandra Quarles Araviaga, Kapil Shroff, Michael Southern, and Jonathan Webb. The representatives for the EMBA New York Friday Saturday class are Gil Adler, Edwina Bright, Miranda Chu, Nicole Clark, Carolyn Disbrow, Stephen Gilman, Catherine Griggs, Eliza Johnston, Rachel Kowarski, Danielle Lachance, and Kathleen Rome. Again, everyone, please join me in thanking each of these representatives for their outstanding contributions to the EMBA community.
The Executive MBA Distinguished Service Award is presented to a graduating student from each cluster selected by classmates as deserving special recognition for contributions to the class spirit and experience. The recipient for the EMBA New York Saturday class is Richard Amsinger. So each class elects a Distinguished Service Award, just to clarify. The recipient for the EMBA Americas class is Nathan Littlewood. Nate Littlewood. The recipients, it was a tie, for the EMBA New York Friday Saturday class are Edwina Bright and Carolyn Disbrow. Okay. The names of our graduating students will now be read by Felicia Goodman-Itzkovich, Director of Student and Academic Affairs, and Declan Carroll, Director of EMBA Global and EMBA Americas. As difficult as it is, we ask that the audience remain seated and hold your applause throughout the entire reading so that all names may be heard.
We will now read the names of the graduates of the EMBA New York Saturday class of 2018. Diana Acosta, Christiane Adame, Alexander Akulov, Anthony Albanese, Dan Ambrosia, Richard Amsinger, Hussein Azari, Lisa Baker, Abhijit Basu, Danielle Lauren Beneduce, Carolyn Butler, Anne Sophie Cartre, Alan Cherian, Mason Chesla, Jessica Cho, Inji Choi, Pamela Corey, Katie Kalina, Thomas D'Arminio, Marshawn Dean, Jennifer Doyle, Ape Edun, Karen Espy, Jordan Frayne, Sarah Gehring, Daniel Paul Girardi, Jen Lee Gong, Rocky Granahan, Dina Greenbaum, Jesse Greenberg, Felipe Guimarães, Teresa Ha, Gavin Moya Hale, Eric Campbell Harmon, Bessian Hassani, Elliot Hasden, Owen Heavey, Juan Herrera, June Hirano, Francis Huang, Jessica Broy Hutton, Simone Lewis Elo, Bill Irvine, Karthik Iyengar, David Jacobson, Kelly Joyce, Arun Kalyanasundaram, Brooks Ashton Kansky, Kumar Kanumili, Shannon Kara, Ryan Andrew Kasapian, Asif Kaja, Nishant Khatri, Purvi Kunzru, Avinash Quatra, Calvert Lang, Nicholas Leisure, Julie Lee, Josh Levitch, James Lee, Gary Lee, Craig Lieb, Michael Loretta, Brian Mahoney, Ataullah Malik, Ashish Manchanda, Alexandra Ilana Mann, Kemi Mao, Maureen McMahon, Richard Miles, John Huff Millard, Shankul Mittal, Kyle Moran, Gig Morris, David Mozzalonitze, Danielle Narove, Binjak Nee, Jay Nicholas, Steve Norman, Michael C. Norson, Benjamin Nunnery, Kelly Meredith O'Connell, Tosin Orlapade, Lauren Pakin, Dana Panzer, Stephen Peck, Virginia Milano Perinelli, Erin Michelle Perry, Jackie Piccolo, Emmanuel Piklak, Ankita Praharaj, Philip Poon, Catherine Relly, Nathan Whittlesey Riggs, Jillian Robbins, Bish Sahu, Arup Sankar, Meghna Saraf, Kurt Ryan Schwab, Shelby Schwabauer, Ali Sakin, Shiv Sethi, Chirag Shah, Ori Shansky, Samuel Shavat, Yue Shi, Anthony Shi, Andrew Jonathan Shohet, David Ryan Talbot, Jackson Tanis, James Tribble, Ronak Trivedi, Georgette Satsalos, Daniel Vigorito, Iris Wong, Wesley Wu, E. Yang, Bilge Yilmaz, Kenichi Yoshioka.
We will now read the names of the graduates of the EMBA Americas class of 2017. Inigo Barca Estegi, Umit Bisain, Courtney Burnaby, Alex Buckley, Mario Castro, Courtney Denise Dornell, Dagar Ajolson, Malvika Goswami, Brittany Johnson, Landon Johnson, Nina Bintu Keita, Dr. David Kim, Isaac Mwezi Kutesa, Nate Littlewood, John Higgins MacDonald, Ricardo Marchand, Brenda Elena Martinez Guajardo, Zach Medalia, Roger Milford, Rafael Navas, Jason Nelson, Gustavo Pleng, Alexandra Quarles Uriviego, Amanda Reposo, Alicia Samaniego, Kay Schonberger, Joe Schwartz, Barrett Scruggs, Dr. Kupil R. Schroff, Luis Silas, Monique Kathleen Sofo, Tanya Nicole Tremiter, Tiffany Christina Say, Yan Wong, Jonathan Hudson Webb, Tuo Zhang, Byong Jun Jun.
We will now read the names of the graduates of the EMBA New York Friday, Saturday class of 2018. Hend Hemdi Abdullah, Gil Adler, Priya Aaron, Damian Altoff, Jeffrey Anderson, Vic Bajpai, Alessandra Baker, Sasha Balmier, Neha Bansal, Joshua Vincent Barlow, Peter Bogard, Carmine Amato Berardi, Jay Benkaria, Sankit Bimani, Joanne Faustini Biscardi, Thomas Bradford, Edwina Bright, Edward Allen Brown, Shayi Buckner, Rafael Carmago Lopez, Andrea Cardani, Macpherson Carroll, Shatij Chaba, Lake Chalin, Miranda T. Chu, Andrew Chalino, Nicole Clark, Ryan Coelho, Phil Costa, Eric Thomas Court, Ryan William Cunningham, Hatewee Demoter, Kunal N. Desai, Carolyn J. Disbrow, Kendall Doble, Andrew Duffett, Lansford Dyer, Mikael Edouard, Abigail Fisher, Ryan Fisher, Brittany Flynn, Cliff Gerber, Stephen Gilman, Rohit Giri, Jonathan Gold, Ryan Gonzalez, Casey Goff, Nick Graff, Ben Grant, Haley M. Grant, Catherine Griffin, Catherine Griggs, Pranav Gupta, Rupak Gupta, Christopher Hardy, Alan Ho, Jeremy Hopkins, Chris Huther, Diana Huang, Ramiro Iglesias, Ozorchukwuamaka Ikemefuna, Tarek Afif Ilya, Ilya Ivashkov, Akrati Johari, Eliza Johnston, Brooke Jones Chinetti, Julian Joseph, Andrew Kahn, Sandia Kasturi. Harrison W. Katz. Robert Kine. Emily Kipping. Kyle Kirk. Nathan Coy. Rachel Kuwarski. Minjung Irene Kwok. Danielle LaChance. Matthew Patrick Lamalva. Andreas Michael Lan. John Timothy Landers. Andrew Lane. Stephen LaPerla. Brandon Lee. Thomas Lombardi. Ellie Lotz. Michael Leuven. Christopher Macy's. Armel Manga. James Mangini. James Martin. Ryan McMahon. Jeffrey Mercado. Adam Mitoro. Mayank Mishra. Linnea Munthi. Shansuki Murakami. Victoria Elizabeth Myers. Mostafa Muhammad Nagati. Buddy C. and Jerry. Charles Okochu. Gulru Ozdogan. Darren Person. Amy Pikinich. Gabriel Pita. Mark Pollack. Johnson Chian. Deepa Rajamani. Nithi Rajgopal. Larissa Rangini. Lev Raslin. Arthi Ravikumar. Kathleen Riom. David Reed. Simon Abel Royo. Alberto Salazar. Gabriel Serrano. Susanna Shaw. Meredith Shields. Zachary Shulruff. Lenny Singh. Peter Becker Smith. Joey Spitz. Lauren Steinberg. Lauren Sumner. Leon Yurovich Saichewski. James Tanis. Elena Tosati. Jeff Trigilio. Tanya Vanderwood. Rohin Vazirani. Ubinathri Velanand. Brian Wing. Sarah Walter. Kim Lee Wong. Jason Wright. Elaine Wu. Marta Zaharoff. Lee Za. Linzin Zhang. Please join us in applauding the graduates.
Okay. Now, I realize that I am the only thing standing between you and a well-deserved time and reception with your families. And of course, the rain has stopped a little, so I'll be brief. You all have achieved something incredibly special. But no doubt, either on the way here today or sometime recently, somebody said, well, you know, that thing you want to do, it's probably not a good time for that. My parting message for you is that you should never believe it when somebody says that. I'll close with a little story. Some years ago, when I worked in the government, I was in Japan negotiating a trade agreement. It's called the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Perhaps you've heard of it. We're still working on it. I came back to the United States with my Japanese colleague, Takanaka-san. We got in a taxi at Dulles Field. We're going to the Capitol. And we passed the National Archives, on which is written, "Past is prologue." And my Japanese colleague turned to me and said, what does that really mean? And I launched into one of my long-winded college professor-y kind of discussions. And the cab driver lost it and turned around and said, what this guy's trying to say to you is, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's my message for you. Congratulations, graduates. Now, for everyone's benefit, the graduates and we will all be filing out, so if you could remain in your seats and then follow them. You can also follow us all as we head to Ansel Plaza for the reception. Congratulations.